About 7 months ago, we tested the Mazda CX-90 SUV with a straight 6 gasoline engine, one of the best SUVs I've driven in a long time, especially for Mazda. We were very impressed. That being said, they're now sending us a 2024 Mazda CX-90 plug-in hybrid. This is the top of the line Premium Plus. $56,950. That includes a lot of goodies. I'm not going to read this off, I'll just scroll down. As always, there are options, although not too many here. And there's the total. One of the reasons people buy Mazdas is they're made in Japan. Not all of them. Moving some plants to Mexico. Yuck. This one is 100% Japanese, though. Definitely a positive sign. And if you're using gasoline only, it's rate 25 mpg average. Using half electric, half gasoline, 56 mpg. We'll talk about that a little bit later. So here it is. I think it's a pretty nice looking vehicle. One of the first things we do when we get a vehicle is check and see what brand of tires they're giving us. A lot of cheap brands are being put on nowadays to save money. These are Falcons, and I'm not saying they're bad tires. I'm just saying it wouldn't be my first choice on something I'm driving, okay? And let's just leave it at that. Considering the price of the car, I would expect at least some nice Michelins, but not in this case. These are the optional 21 inchers. I'm told there's some 20 and 19 inchers on the base models, and they might be a different brand, I don't know. Haven't had those. So for now, we'll just make do with these. And another thing we do, check and see if there's a spare tire. Usually in a hybrid there is not, but I'm told there is on this one. Well, we got the tools for one. And yes, there is one under there. A compact, but better than nothing. It beats walking. And we also take the headlights out in the dark and so they perform. We already took the 2023 model out. They did pretty good, so we'll take these out tonight. And so they work and do some night driving as well. We posted that video on YouTube already. If you haven't seen it, we'll have a link for that at the end of this video. Alright, let's take a look under the hood. A 2.5 liter gasoline motor, 189 horsepower. Tack onto that an electric motor for a total of 323 horsepower. Torque rating of 369. Overall it's rated 25 mpg, running on the gasoline engine only. Then you have this plug-in outlet. Charge it overnight. It gives you 25 to 26 miles of electric-only driving. If you have a home charger putting out 240 volts, it takes about 2.5 hours. If you're plugging in a standard 120 volt socket or 110 volt socket, you're looking at 12 to 14 hours at least, I'm told. I haven't tried it yet. So the way this works, let's say you're going to work 26 miles away. You drive 26 miles on electric. You drive home on 25 to 26 miles on gas. That would average around 50 miles to the gallon. Unless, of course, you charge at work and then you have electric both ways. The advantage of the system is for short trips, like if you're doing 25 to 50 miles a day. This is very beneficial if you're taking long highway trips from New York to Los Angeles. This isn't going to make much difference. By comparison, the non-hybrid we had a 3.3 liter inline 6, putting out 340 horsepower. There's also a 280 horsepower version. It was rated 23 to 20 mpg with a 25 average overall, just like this one. So on paper, there's no difference between this hybrid and the inline 6-cylinder. If you're not using the electrical battery, you're going to plug in and get your 25 to 26 miles overnight. On the inline 6-cylinder we got 23 miles to the gallon on city driving and 26 on the highway. We're going to take this out and see if it does better. Let's take a look at the cabin. We have a nice large glove box. a large info screen, and I have the transmission reversed to show you what the camera looks like. We'll be taking this out in the night video and showing how it works in the dark. Here's the control knob for the system with some shortcut buttons. Volume for the radio, pretty simple to use once you learn everything. It doesn't take that long. You're not going to use stick shift, but you'll get used to it. And you have the drive mode selector, giving your choice of sport, normal, electric only, or off-road. Yes, you can take this off-road. And the climate controls were easy to use. And like most Mazdas, turning off the head-up display is almost impossible. I went through the 500 or 600 pages of the owner's manual. It was totally useless telling me how to get rid of this. I don't want to see a head-up display. It's a gimmick, at least for me. Very simple solution. Take some black paper and stick it down the hole. Works every time. I used to use black socks for this, but I forget to take the socks out, and I was running out of socks. I'm sure there's a lot of test vehicles out there with socks jammed down there. People don't know about. Boo-hoo. By the way, the only thing that separates the hybrid from the non-hybrid plug-in is the PHEV emblem on the side, so people know what you're driving if they notice. Let them know you're trying to save the planet. Alright, enough show and tell. Let's do some driving, get some fuel economy numbers, and go plug this in, charge the battery. In daily driving, a couple of notes for you. Number one, even though we have a slight advantage in horsepower and torque rating on the hybrid, it's no quicker than the Turbo 6 and the standard CX-90. That is because you're laying around like 400 or 500 pounds of extra weight. It's quick enough if you press it, but no real advantage in acceleration. There's a difference in driving characteristics, though. Every time you come to a stoplight, you make the transition from gasoline engine to electric, and it's very noticeable and kind of annoying in my book, although after time you do get used to it. By comparison, the inline six-cylinder on the straight gasoline CX-90 is very smooth, and if you disconnect the auto stop-start feature, you don't have that issue at all. So in that respect, the non-hybrid wins. I think a lot of this has to do with familiarization. Been driving this for 4 days, and the jerkiness and quirkiness of the hybrid compared to the non-hybrid inline six doesn't seem to bother me much anymore. You get used to it. With 3 rows on this vehicle, I was wondering if they could haul this 8-foot mirror I've been trying to get rid of, and let's see. Fits in the rear here. And we made it all the way to the driver's seat. Here's a long shot from front to rear. So while I'm driving, I'll just have to have this in my face every time I'm looking to my right. But hey, it fit. So I decided to charge this overnight in a typical 120 volt outlet. Where's 115 volts? I keep forgetting. 110. A standard household outlet. That was last night around 9 o'clock. Now it's 9 in the morning. 12 hours. Let's go see how many miles I got. If you don't have an outside outlet, you'll have to run this cord through one of your windows. Now we unplug it. Well, it said 26 miles, but opened the door and turned the ignition on. I just dropped to 25, so I drove a mile sitting still. Go figure. Just a little note here, a lot of people act like electricity's free. It's not. Now, charging at home might be inexpensive. Using a public charger, not so much. Last time I used one, I forked up like about $4 for every 25 miles, which is actually more expensive than gas in many cases, depending on what you're driving. Do the math. So are we getting around 19 to 20 in mixed commuting? Mainly city driving. We'll take this out on the highway, see what type of mileage we can get. This is gasoline engine operation only, no electric plug-in. The CX-90 hybrid is a smooth highway cruiser. Wind noise is very low. The ride is comfortable, but we're on smooth pavement at the moment. When you get on rougher pavement, again, it's smooth enough, but these large tires do a lot of thumping and make some rumbling noises. Nothing I can't live with. When you're driving, you have the energy flow monitor to entertain yourself. Not sure what all the information means, so it's entertaining to look at. And at the moment, we're getting 23.4 mpg. That ends our trip. 105 miles. Well, 24 miles to the gallon, that's not too bad. Alright, 57.3 mpg. That's after about 2 days of driving, about 65-70% electric plug-in, since I'm doing local driving, but it looks impressive, but we're cheating here because it's mostly electric. Does impress your friends, though. Let's take one more highway trip. This time we'll do it in the daytime. Maybe that'll make the numbers go up higher. We're doing gasoline only. We already ran the main battery dry. We're not running on electric. Well, judging from the traffic, I would say this ends our little highway trip. Let's take a look at the number. 28.2 on this one, not too bad, but really not much better than what we got off of the 6-cylinder CX-9. About the same. So what's our take on the Mazda CX-90 plug-in hybrid? It's a nice car, or SUV I should say, but the real question is, should you get the plug-in hybrid or the regular CX-90 with the inline 6-cylinder? Well, it's pretty much like this. If you have a home charger or plan on getting one, you're off to a good start. If you're planning to use this plug-in often, it might be worth your time. On the other hand, if you're not going to use this often or use it at all, you're slugging around a bunch of dead weight, and you're better off getting the Mazda CX-90 with the 6-cylinder, preferably the high output turbo rather than the standard inline 6. Same fuel economy, better performance. And if you want to see our headlight test and night drive, and you should because it turned out very, very good, here's a link coming up. We also have a link for the CX-90 inline 6-cylinder non-hybrid version we tested. Link for that, you can watch both.